Okay, we're live and hi everyone. We are just sorting out some of we seem to have a microphone problem. So if you guys are joining us live and you can hear me, let me Okay, hold on. Hold on here. We got Deb, we got you in two places. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you on my phone, but I can't on my computer for some reason.
Okay.
I don't hardly ever use my laptop anymore. Let me see if I can turn this mic on. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, and we're live in the group also.
Okay. Oh, we are? Hi, everybody.
I'm just wondering if there's a volume on your computer that you need to turn up. Otherwise, we can just do it from your phone.
All right. So let me get out of this one.
And I'm going to go into the Facebook group so I can see the comments as they come in with the people's names. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello.
Okay.
All right. If you're logging on, let us know that you're here. Say hello in the comments. And a super warm welcome to Deb. Hi, Deb.
Hi. Let me get situated here.
Deb's just getting situated with her. Actually, Deb, I'm going to take you off the screen for a second so you can get situated. Then we'll, there you go.
Hold on 1 minute. I'm going to run and grab something.
Okay. All right. We'll wait for Deb to get situated. In the meantime, how are you guys liking Reboot Week? Is this awesome or what? I think I'm seeing so many incredible comments, so much stuff leaving people's homes, so many aha moments. If you are rewatching the videos, I would love to hear what your perspective is for the second time or third time or fourth time. And if you're new to the videos, let us know you're new so we can warmly welcome you and hear, everything that you're thinking about as you're watching them. Okay, it looks like Deb is back. Let me bring her back into the
I think I'm here.
Yes, you're here. Okay. Welcome, Deb.
Get my volume up.
Oh, thank you for the compliment on the earrings. They are my work uniform. It's all about the earrings. Thanks, Chris. All right, so Deb is joining us today to share her experience decluttering. Deb has been working with us for a year now, right? Is that right, Deb? I think a year.
Yep. February.
Yeah.
Was it?
So Deb, do you want to introduce yourself and just share a little bit of your clutter story with us?
Okay. My name is Deb, and I have had to declutter like 4 families worth of stuff. I moved in with my husband about 2 years ago, and he had his stuff and his parents' stuff, and I had my stuff. Plus, I had my late husband's stuff, and then shortly thereafter, my mom passed away. So then I had to deal with her stuff. Her stuff wasn't quite as hard. Some of it came to me, but a lot of it we just sold, and my siblings took some stuff. So I didn't have a lot of the little stuff to declutter for her, but it's been a long and ongoing process. I'm still working on it, but I've gotten a lot done. I don't know, Jess, do you want me to tell like what I did with the stuff and
Sure, whatever. I mean, anything really, I think hearing other people's experience, whatever is relevant to you is going to be relevant to somebody else. So whatever you feel like you want people to hear.
I made some notes here. One of the first things that I did, and that was before the Clutter Boss Academy, I had an online auction. A company came here, and I put all the stuff I wanted to get rid of in the garage, and that was like furniture, I had a lot of collectibles and this house decor, multitude of that because it was 3 families worth. And they just come in and they hold an auction for 7 days and people bid on this stuff and the people are responsible to come and pick it up and they take care of all the money and just give me a check when it's over. It worked out really well. We sold everything.
Wow, that's incredible.
It was pretty, it was, I will have to admit, I was still in my clutter era and I bought some of the stuff back because it was going too low. Was like, what are you doing? And now I've since gotten rid of a lot of that stuff because I really didn't need it. But at this point, I could do that auction again and let everything go, and I wouldn't care how much it brought because it's just clutter. The next thing I did was I consolidated all the silverware, all the dishes, all the pots and pans, and one at a time. Like all the silverware went on the kitchen table at once, all the dishes at once, and then I took all the duplicates and triplicates out and kept what we wanted. And then I took most of that stuff to the Goodwill. And it was a lot of stuff. It was like a whole truckload of pots and pans, dishes, and silverware.
Which is what happens when you're combining so many households together. You end up with everyday items, multiples of them.
Yeah, we had like 7 skillets and, many, many pots and pans. We just picked out the best ones and kept those. And same thing with the dishes. And now I have a service for 8 of my good dishes. And then I just have 4 pieces of Corelle for bowls and plates just for us every day. So I got rid of a ton. Plus I had 2 sets of china that were my husband's mother's. And I held on to that because I thought it was kind of sentimental. And I called all the family members and nobody wanted it. Put it on Marketplace. I had nobody call me. So I just recently took that to the Goodwill like 2-3 weeks ago. And I thought it would bother me because it was a full set. There's no chips. It was really nice stuff, but it doesn't bother me that it's gone because now I have a whole china cabinet that's empty. So I can put other stuff in there. And then I had sheets and towels and blankets that were just taking over the whole upstairs here. So I called my kids up. They came down and they took what they wanted. And then like the towels and blankets, I took to the Humane Society and donated those. And that was after COVID. So it was like I had to call ahead and then I had to set them outside, wait for them to come to the door to see that they were there. But they were still taking stuff. So that was good. And then the sheets I took to the Goodwill. And I kind of followed your rule about sheets, and I only have 1 set right now. So, you have to make the bed right away because before, if I would take the sheets off the bed, it'd be bedtime and I'd be like, oh no, I never remade the bed, and now I just get them out of the dryer, take them right back and put them on. So
can I interrupt you for a second, Deb, just in case anyone is listening and doesn't know what Deb is referring to? When it comes to linens, the way that I do linens, and I didn't even realize this until I tried to show somebody how to fold a fitted sheet. But the way I do linens is I just keep 1 set of sheets per bed and that's it. So there's nothing in storage. So I just wash them, dry them, put them on the bed, and then I never have to fold a fitted sheet. And so I shared that with the group. And so Deb, are you liking that? Is it working?
Oh yeah. Because, well, for one, I'm not going to bed and then realizing the bed didn't get made. Because, I go throw them in the laundry, think, I'll get back there, make the bed, and then forget about it. And now I just, as soon as they come out of the dryer, I take them back and put them on the bed. So, yeah, I like that a lot. Now, I will say I'm on my 2nd set of sheets, though, because they kind of wore out fast. But then it's not a big deal because I had 4 or 5 sets before.
Yeah. So it's interesting. You actually reducing the amount of stuff that I have has made it very clear to me what has longevity and what doesn't, and like how much money I actually spend on things. Like I know how long my sheets are going to last. And I know if I spend $20 more, I might get a whole other year out of a set of sheets. The same thing with clothing. Like, it's really clear to me how long things last and how far my money is being stretched. Whereas before, I had no idea, right? I really didn't know.
Yeah, like I had the sheets I have now are much nicer than the sheets that didn't make it. So I know the next time I'll buy the same kind because they look brand new every time I get them out of the dryer. So I
Which
spent
feels so good.
it's worth it. The other thing that I did was I had 4 Christmas trees and I put them on Marketplace, and I had like $20 on each one and I got nothing. So I went in and I changed it to free, and my phone was ringing off the hook and they were all gone the very same day. So that was huge because I didn't know what I was going to do with them, because our Goodwill won't take any Christmas trees. They won't take Christmas trees, computers, or anything like that. So we had to figure out what to do with our computers, and we ended up just taking the hard drives out and taking them to the landfill because nobody wants them anymore. We did get one of them, Staples. They must recondition them or use parts or something. So they did take one of them.
Yeah, letting go of electronics is complicated. You got to figure out for your area, like what works and what, where you can take them.
Yeah. And, like my husband was like, if we put it in the back of the pickup underneath everything, they're never going to know when we dump it. Yeah, but I think there's a reason they don't want it in the ground. So I bringing it. So they had a special place. They had like a trailer where you put computers. So I'm sure they keep it separate. It's probably got something to do with the screen and what's in there. I don't know. But I had, in addition to all those Christmas trees, I had tons of Christmas decorations. And I'm still not done with that because the whole attic here was full of Christmas stuff. So I have a friend who makes wreaths and like flower arrangements and stuff. So I've given a lot of it to her, and she just incorporates it into her wreaths, especially the Christmas balls and stuff. But I've given her stuff for every season.
That's
And
a great idea. Find a crafty friend who makes decorations.
yeah, she actually is got so much stuff that she bought a second house, and she calls it her crap house because all of her craft stuff is there. That's the only thing is in there is all of her craft stuff, but she does it for a living. So, sewing supplies, knitting needles, craft supplies, all sorts of stuff of my mom's, and full skeins of yarn. And I crochet, but it wasn't anything that I wanted. So I ended up taking that stuff to the nursing home where my mom had been, and they do crafts there, and they were like so excited about it because they just go based on donations. So I'm sure those got used. And then for my late husband, I had a lot of medical supplies that had never been opened. Bandages. He had a port, so there's these port bandages, and they're like $5.75 a piece. And I had probably 10 of those left. And I had he had suction equipment and stuff that was still in the package. So I donated those to hospice. I took him to the same hospice where he was, and they were thrilled with it because they don't have a lot of that stuff because, well, they never know what they're going to get, who's going to come. And so they took that. And then I had tons of medications. The bathroom we have here has too much storage. It has like cupboards everywhere. And there were 2 of them completely full of outdated medications. And I guess nobody wanted to throw them away. So I just took those and poured all the bottles into Ziploc bags. And our local hospital has, like, once a year, they'll take meds, plus the sheriff's department. So I took that stuff there. And the rest of it is just still a work in progress. I've got basement, still has a multitude of things in it. we've worked down there several times, and then we get kind of frustrated because my husband, well, everybody has their things that they don't want to get rid of, and he actually is worse than me, and maybe I was worse before, and now I can let go of things, and he's real. We have a glider down the basement, aluminum glider, which is probably from the 50s, and it has plastic cushions on it. It doesn't even glide anymore, and he wants to keep it. So that's going to be one of our arguments, because we have tons of outdoor furniture already. We have no place to put it, and maybe that'll be something I can get him to put on Marketplace or something. But for some reason it was his grandma's, and it has some kind of nostalgia, and he doesn't want to get rid of it. We've got a pool table in our basement that is a catch-all, and now I just put all my cushions for my outdoor furniture on that, and they're piled about 4 foot high. And he said, if we get rid of that, what are you going to do with your cushions? I said, well, I'll find a place. I'll put them in a garbage and put them on or whatever in the basement. But I've got our living area on our first floor is done. I've been through all the closets, all the drawers, all the cabinets. I took everything out of all the cabinets, and I washed them all out and put all new shelf paper in. And I had somebody come in and paint the cupboards, and I did the same thing in the bathroom. And now it's just like every week there's still decluttering to do on those same places, because you end up shoving something where it doesn't really belong. And so about once a week I'll go through, I'll either pick the bathroom or the kitchen, and I'll go through the cabinets and get stuff out that doesn't belong. Or if my husband puts the dishes away, he doesn't put them in the right spot. But I'm not going to complain because it's help. But that's about it. And it's just, I'll always be decluttering, I'm sure. Like we've talked about that. It's not once and done. It's you'll always be doing that.
Until stuff stops coming into your house, stuff has to keep going out.
I've really, really saved a lot of money by not shopping online. Now I've been shopping online a little bit lately, I have to admit, but I got some stuff for our camper, stuff that we've been wanting. So the UPS man was coming like every day last week, and yesterday we were following him down the road, and he didn't pull in. And my husband says, "Oh wait, we better go catch him and tell him he forgot to stop." So I guess I was ordering a little bit too much. But
okay, so you've gotten rid of so much stuff, Deb, but I mean, a huge amount. But I know that this process has been like up and down for you, like it is for everyone. So do you want to talk a little bit about like some of the struggles that you have overcome in the past year that other people probably will come to at some point?
Well, I think that the struggles that I have mostly are with depression and anxiety, and it just brings a halt to everything. And listening to the phone calls on a regular basis really helps me, because I went for about a month where my husband was in the hospital and I had a lot of stuff going on, and I didn't listen to calls, and it made a huge difference to me not to have that support. Even if I don't talk, listening to everything, knowing that there is so many people out there with the same issues, it's not just me. And that has been huge for me.
So just if you're listening, so Deb is in Clutter Boss Academy, which we're opening up spots for at the end of this week. And in Clutter Boss Academy, we have between 8 and 10 calls a week. So there's just so much support. And you don't, of course, have to get onto every call. But Deb, you get onto most of the calls now, and you do tend to just listen, because just knowing you're not alone is so incredible.
Yes, it definitely is.
So Deb, you talked a little bit about saving money from not online shopping. Do you have any sense of how much money you've saved?
Well, no, because I don't really want to know how much I was spending. But
This is a
yeah,
tough question for people to answer, though, because we don't know how much we're spending.
I just know that, at the end of the month, I've still got lots of money in my account. You know, I, I'm on a fixed income being retired. And so I know how much goes in on the first of the month, and I know how much I used to have at the end of the month. And now there's plenty of money there. So I really don't want to know, because I'll probably make myself sick knowing how much I was on just junk. I'm huge on liking to decorate, and I get tired of it after a while, and I redecorate, and then I don't get rid of the stuff I had from before. And that's one thing that my daughter asked me if I wanted to go to a painting class and paint some Easter stuff. And I said, no, I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't need it. And before I'd be all over that, especially because it's at a winery. And I said, I'll go and I'll make you one, but I don't want it. So
By
that's
the way, the wall behind you looks awesome.
thanks. Thank you. This little picture here, that's my mom.
I
And
love that.
that was in her stuff. So I fixed the frame up. It was pretty dilapidated, and I thought it was really cool. It's actually made out of plaster, and
Oh.
like chunks out of it we had to fix. But my grandma she had 4 kids, and she had all 4 of their pictures in a frame like that hanging on her stairway going downstairs. So that meant a lot to me. So I need to have some else parents' pictures in here too, because I put those all in the other room. So I guess I need to.
So, Deb, if people are listening and they just joined, so you've been at this for a year, what advice would you give to somebody who's new to this group and new to this process?
I think the biggest thing for me was when I started, I thought, I'm probably not going to do this because I do all this stuff and I never finish. And this was different. I did it and I stuck with it. And I think that there was a few times I could have just stopped, because it was hard. It was a lot of work that I really didn't feel like doing, and just sticking with it. And the main thing was just getting the encouragement on the phone calls and seeing the posts that people make, both the Clutter Foundation and the Academy, both, seeing what people have done. It's like, oh, wow, that is so cool. I need to do that too, and that's helped me a lot. But I've gotten frustrated, and I just think that you just have to make yourself keep going, because it's easier to stop than it is to go on until you get to a certain point. Now it's easy for me. It's so much easier because it's part of my daily routine. The way I do stuff is so different than before. I, don't buy crap, and I just feel better, and I don't seem to get as depressed. And I think that maybe the clutter was bringing me down, because I would see it as soon as I got out of bed in the morning and be like, oh, I really got to tackle that. And then I wouldn't do it. So it's kind of nice to get up in the morning and make your bed and your bedroom is all in order. Because before it would be walking over clothes that I threw off all week long just on the floor, instead of walking 2 feet to the clothes hamper. Stuff would just be laying on the floor. And, I still do that, when I'm super tired. And if the dogs are sleeping, I don't want to wake them up. But as soon as I get up in the morning, I take care of it.
There's a lot of habit change that comes with decluttering, whether that's your intention or not. That is actually what happens. And I agree, tackling my clutter really helped me overcome my depression also. But I wouldn't have thought that was the connection in the beginning. I just, yeah. Deb, you are getting a question here from Lisa. So Lisa is wondering, how did you overcome feeling overwhelmed?
Well, I think seeing other people's successes, um, and after the first thing I did was work in my basement. That was because the basement was that's where we put everything when we joined households. And once I got the basement done, it seemed a lot easier because it wasn't that hard. It wasn't as hard as what I thought it was going to be. It was more manual labor than anything because I was in that mindset that I was just going to get rid of this stuff. And once you get rid of stuff, even no matter how bad you don't want to, as soon as it's out of your house, you don't miss it. I have not missed one thing that I've gotten rid of that I thought I couldn't live without. And
I hear that all the time. All the
yeah,
time.
it's amazing. And the other thing is, I've had a lot of family support. So the struggle, they help me with that struggle. And I know not everybody gets that or has someone else to help them, but my husband's always there to help me. My girls are the neatest people. Like, they don't keep anything. And I think sometimes it's because of how I was. They don't want that clutter in their house. I mean, they don't even keep photographs, a year they throw them away. Um, they they read a magazine and they throw it away. And I would keep magazines for years and years, thinking that there was one thing in there I needed. So they've helped me a lot with my struggles. Plus, my grandkids are teenagers, so they live right next door and they can ride their bikes down here. And I during COVID, when they weren't in school, they got done with school at noon, their virtual school, and they came down and helped me a lot last year. So that's been huge. And like Ann said, she hired a couple of neighbor kids. If you're struggling to do it by yourself, there's always that option to find somebody in the neighborhood that'll help you. I have a friend who does she does cleanups for crime scenes and hoarders and stuff. And her and her husband have a business, and she's actually the one that came and helped me right at first. So I wasn't very eager to get, this was before Clutter Boss, and I wasn't very eager to get rid of things, but a lot of stuff that she told me after she left, like, I'm like, oh, why do I need this? Because she was telling me, how much time it takes to dust around all that stuff that you've got sitting around, and how much, she had times figured out in her house. Like, if I had all that clutter, it'd take me this many minutes to dust, and it takes me 3 minutes to dust now, and just stuff like that. You just kind of look forward to getting to that point.
So how is cleaning your house now? Is it way faster?
Yeah, it is. Like, I can dust in just a few minutes. I still have quite a few things on my mantle and stuff, but I took it all down a couple weeks ago and I varnished the top. It was just a barn beam, so it was real rough and it was a pain in the butt to clean off. So I took everything off and put a clear coat on it, and now it's just like feather. I can just go over it with a feather duster and I'm done. I have a cleaning lady, and my husband said, do you really need her to come here? Because she's not really doing anything but standing and talking. Well, I probably don't need her anymore. And I think the reason that I got her to begin with, it would force me to pick things up before she came. I mean, I basically cleaned before she came to clean. And I don't really need to have that anymore because we keep it picked up. And my worst problem right now is that my dogs have too many toys, and you put them away and they follow you around and take them out. So that's the worst thing I'm dealing with right now.
I do think having a cleaning service or a cleaning lady come, it does keep you on a pickup schedule, right?
Yeah, it does. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was working on painting some stuff, and I kind of let the house go, and I had laundry to do. And I said, I don't even want her to come. This is stressing me out. And he goes, then why do you even have her if you're going to get stressed out? I mean, she's a friend, and so it's like, I hate to tell her because that's what she does for a living. And um, I did tell her we booked a vacation for next January, and I told her that I might have to let her go because I have to save money for my vacation. And she said, "Oh, that's fine." She said, "I have a waiting list." So then I didn't feel so bad because I didn't want to just put her out without having money, and she can replace me with someone. So that's what I'm doing next time she comes, is we're going to have the talk. Are you frozen, Jess?
I think we're back.
Okay.
Sorry, that was my internet. So for everybody who's watching, I'm having all sorts of issues at my house right now. We have like frozen pipes, internet issues. It's just like things are all over the place. But I think looks like we're back and we're live still. So
Well, when your head move, I thought, oh, she's froze.
I know. Oh, okay. Yeah, everyone says we're frozen. So we're talking about cleaning ladies. People are saying I never had a cleaning lady because you have to clean up before they come. It's true.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of comments. Melissa says, how long did it take you, Deb, to get your house cleaned out?
Oh gosh. I would say about 7, 8 months. But it's not really all done yet. I still have basement still full of stuff. It didn't, it did, I thought it would take me the rest of my life. So the fact that it only took 7 or 8 months was huge.
I think that's a really good perspective because it does take a long time, but it's definitely not the rest of your life. So. Let's see. We have another question here for me. Karen says, how do I stay so positive? Karen, this is so basically I guess I'm naturally a positive person, but I have struggled with a lot of depression in the past. But what I've learned through hiring a lot of coaches for myself and therapists and all of this stuff is that every day you have a choice to react in a good way or a bad way. And basically what we teach in Clutter Boss Academy and what we coach on is all that stuff that I've spent like a decade trying to figure out for me. But it's so true that once I got rid of all my clutter and could really figure out the internal clutter, it's made life so much easier. And, you can choose to have a negative reaction or choose to have a positive reaction. And on all of our coaching calls, I would say almost every single one, we talk about choice. We always have a choice. Deb, do you have any perspective on that to share?
Well, I think that just, having the coaching calls, when it comes to our mindset, and those have helped me a lot. Plus I read somebody sent me this little verse out of the Bible, and it was like, oh my gosh, that just hits me. Like how when Jesus took all of our sin to the cross with him, he never got cross with anybody. He never talked back. He just loved everyone. And I'm thinking, that's what I need to do. I need to stop, because I have a temper and I can get really, really aggravated at the smallest things. And then I'm just thinking now, that's just such a waste of energy. You're much happier when you're happy, and everyone else around you feels that, and they're happier too. And I've done a total mindset, and the decluttering has helped me because I feel like more of a I feel more outgoing than I did when I started this. I kind of just hid before, and the only thing I did was go to some ball game, my grandkids' ball games, and the rest of the time I just stayed home. And now I feel like I can go away and come home, and not because I used to like to go away, but I didn't want to come home because it's a mess. And now that makes me happy when I come home and I look around and it's like, oh, it looks like the cleaning lady was just here.
I often say turn your house into a home. That's what this journey is all
Yeah.
about, which is like exactly what you just said. So you have another question, Deb. Actually, a few more questions. Diane is wondering, how
Okay,
did you stay motivated
ask
through
me
your
that again
journey?
because you cut out.
Okay, so how did you stay motivated during your journey?
Oh, I didn't. Not every. I watched this girl that is like she's just a mom of 3 and she cleans, and she videotapes her cleaning, and I watch her and I think she just cleaned her whole house. I mean, I'm sure she has it in the lapse time, and so it was probably all day, but it was like a 20-minute video. But I think that kind of motivated me because I said, I want to be like that. I want to be able to clean my whole house in one day. It used to be almost a day per room to clean. And now that everything's picked up, it's, I guess you just kind of look forward to that, and that helped keep me motivated. And well, my kids have always called me a hoarder, and I didn't want that anymore. So that kept me motivated too. And even now, if they say something, I go, that's not me anymore. Well, they'll see something along the side of the road, for free. Mom, aren't you going to stop and get that? No, I don't do that anymore. So
that's a huge identity shift, Deb. And that's I just want to give you so much credit for actually embracing that change, because it's hard to shift your identity and to tell people like, nope, not me anymore. So that's really, really incredible. That's awesome.
And my one daughter, I don't see her as often, and she still doesn't. She still thinks that any day she's going to come over here and I'm going to be hoarding stuff again, and there's going to be piles everywhere. And I said, no, that's not going to happen. She goes, yeah, we'll see. So she can feel that way. She's not a very positive person. And I think that since she's not positive, she doesn't want anybody else to be either. So I just ignore it. I'll prove her wrong.
That's right. That's right. Those are everyone, we just had a coaching call on this actually, where everyone is responsible for their own thoughts and feelings. And all you can do is be responsible for your own thoughts and feelings. So not letting that stuff like hit you where it hurts is huge.
Yeah. Because like stuff like that, if she'd have said that to me before, I would have believed her and I would have just stopped. I mean, I had the same thing. I've battled my weight all my life. And my mom used to be my worst critic, and she would say, don't get rid of those clothes because you're going to gain all that weight back. And then I'd be like, well, then why am I bothering if that's what's going to happen? Because I would believe that. I wouldn't be strong enough to say, no, I'm not. I'm going to keep this weight off. And I blame that kind of talk that she gave me all my life on part of my weight problem. Is because, well, I think there's stuff proven where that, when you do that to kids, that they end up having a weight problem when you're constantly worrying about what they weigh. And so my mom never had a weight problem. And, she didn't think anybody else should either, since she didn't have a problem. So now, if she were still here and she would say that to me, I would say right back, you're wrong. I'm going to do this. So
it's all connected. It's all clutter. Deb, we have another question. Let's see. Beth is wondering, do you have an item that you got rid of that was difficult, but you are so proud that you were able to let it go? And what was it?
Oh, there was a lot of them. Um, this is going to sound really stupid, but I had a Chatty Cathy doll that when I was, I don't know, 12, 11, 12, my brothers beat it on the side of the bed and knocked her head off just to make me mad. And so I kept that head. I kept that head all these years thinking I'm going to go have her put on a new body. And I let that go. And now somebody the other day had dolls on there and they had a Chatty Cathy and I was like, oh, she's just going to take that to the Goodwill. I should. None. I'm like, no, you do not need that doll.
And again, these are huge mindset shifts because in the past, you would have grabbed it. But like now, it's just, how do you look at things differently now? Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, it's like these things do not do anything for you. The stuff is just, all you need is the necessities. You don't need 10 of anything. You don't need, my husband calls it crap. You don't need all that crap, like I haven't bought anything for decor in my house probably I haven't bought anything since I've been in Clutter Boss, and I still have plenty of stuff. It's not like I'm missing out on anything. I like to decorate, but my thing before was I would change it all the time, and now it just stays the same, and that's fine. It's perfectly fine with me. I can leave it like this for the next 20 years. I don't care. It's fine. I also, I appreciate, like, I mean, I do my dishes every day and I didn't used to do that because I thought, well, I can do those tomorrow and then they'd sit in the sink. And now I put them in the dishwasher, and even if it's not full, I run it because I figure, and when I know in the morning, then when I get up, my dishes are clean and I can put them away, and I can start putting dirty dishes back in there as we use them. And before I would have never done that. I would have just thought, oh, I have to have a full load, and I would leave them sit in the sink instead of loading them in the dishwasher because I'd be afraid I wouldn't remember whether they were clean or dirty.
So Brenda is giving you some love in the comments, Deb. She says, I want to let you know you are doing amazing. It's hard not to let the damage that people have done to you come back into your life, but stay strong. Anything that people have said to you or said about you, it's not you, it's them. They are the ones that have things that they need to work on, and they can take it out on others. So stay strong. We're here for you.
Well, thank you. That's been one of my biggest hurdles ever since I was a teenager. My parents were very negative. I'd go home and say, hey, I got a B+ on my geometry test. Well, you should have got an A, and nothing was ever good enough. And so I think that all my years of marriage and everything, I felt like kind of a failure, and because my parents thought I was. Are you still there, Jess? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, it plays out so much in our. Oh yeah, am I frozen?
Yeah.
Hello? Net issues.
Your face is.
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. What you're saying is just it's so similar to the stories that I have personally in my life, and so what everyone else in our group shares also. I mean, these words are impactful, and standing up and empowering yourself it's hard because you have to overcome years of this negativity. Yeah.
And it's hard to feel sure of yourself because you're afraid somebody's going to knock you down.
Yep.
So you're afraid to speak out and be positive because somebody else might not see it that way, and they're going to make you feel bad because you said that. I think that's why it's hard a lot of times for me to get on the phone calls and talk, because I feel like I'm being judged. I know I'm not, but I'm so insecure that it's hard to talk about stuff. And I think that's why I have the clutter. It's made me feel safe, and it was mine. It was mine, and nobody could do anything with it, and nobody could take it away from me.
So Deb, I'm curious. I know it's hard for you to talk on the calls, but then you did volunteer to do this interview. So what's and you're sharing so much, and you're going to have to go back and read the comments because your words are touching a lot of people right now. A lot of people are resonating with what you're saying. So just out of curiosity, if you care to share, what made you step up and say, I want to do an interview today?
Well, I think that, I'm getting a little bit more secure in everything. And, I see everybody else volunteering for stuff and talking on the calls. I'm thinking it's about my time. But let me tell you, I've had a lot of stress about it. And I got my COVID shot today. And while I'm standing there, I'm like, I got to get home. And that was at 9:00 this morning. I'm like, I got to get home. I got to get ready for this call. And Al says, you get on those calls all the time. I said, but not live. Me. So, I think it's just my mindset is starting to change, and it's for the good. It's a positive thing.
Yeah, I was so thrilled when you said you wanted to do an interview because I know this has been such for everyone. This is not an easy process. This is not a straight line. There's so much that we have to figure out along the way. And I was just, when you reached out to me, I was so excited because I see a difference in you also.
Well, I had at the time that I signed up for this, I had so much going on in my life, and I needed help. I had never really been in charge of anybody who had passed away. And first I lost my husband, and then I lost my mom, and I was in charge. I was the person taking care of them. I was the person staying in hospice through the night, and I was the one making funeral arrangements and all that. And I think that after that was over, I needed something to keep me busy. And my daughter actually is the one that sent me the link on Facebook because she saw it on there, and she follows the posts that are on the prioritize your sanity stuff. She used to, and she would say, she could do this. She says, she was out of work, and she said, maybe I should do this. And I said, well, do the Clutter Boss Academy with me, and then you can become your own boss. You can be, go and help other people. And she's like, oh, I don't know. She said, I don't know if I would be afraid I'd hurt someone's feelings if I suggested that they get rid of something. And I said, well, I think what it is, when my friend came, she didn't tell me you need to get rid of this. You need to get rid of that. She would say, do you want to keep this? And then she'd ask me why, and then I had to make it seem like I really needed it, and without her saying, you don't need I figured it out on my own. But because I know that my daughter felt like I was under way too much stress, and she because I haven't always I have not always been a clutterer. It's just only been in the last, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. And it's I mean, I'm not going to say that because I've always picked up junk and thought that it could be remade and sold and all that kind of stuff, but I never sold any of it. I just kept it all. So I think she thought that I needed help, and she's been a good help to me. Like she won't say, "Do you want me to help you, Mom?" She'll wait for me to call and say, "I got some boxes to carry up from the basement." And she's like over here right now. She just lives about 5 miles from me, and she comes right away. Before I think that she does it so I don't change my mind. Because I always told her that, stuff sits here too long, I might change my mind and keep it. So say I'm ready to get rid of something, she's here. So
Well, it's so true, Deb. Like I never would say to somebody, get rid of that, right? It's you got to help people figure it out for themselves. And that's doing it for somebody else does nothing. There's no personal growth there.
I had a friend who I used to go and clean her house for her when she was going to have a family gathering or something. And it was a mess. And I would go over there and I would clean it up. Then I'd come home and look at my house and think, why can't I do that here? So it's easier to go into somebody else's house and do that, but then you're stepping on their personality basically, because they have a reason why something is somewhere, and you move stuff around and you put stuff away, then they can't find it. And so you got to do it yourself. I mean, it would have been easy for me to just call my friend and have her and her husband, and they have partners in this business, tell them to come in here and get rid of everything. But I don't think that would have kept me from rebuying stuff and doing it again. This way, doing it yourself and sticking with it, all the work you've put into it, and you're not gonna go back.
Absolutely. Does anyone have any more questions for Deb? So Deb, definitely when this is over, go back and read the comments, because I mean, there's so many comments that are thanking you for being open and honest and brave and sharing with us.
Okay. And how do I do that? Do I just go into the chat?
Yeah, I'll tag you, and if you'll see the video, like it says, it'll say like video ended, but you can replay it. So I'll just tag you there so you can see the comments. So you're in the right spot. There's a little bit of a delay, so we'll. My video goes away again. So Deb, I guess my last question. Oh, okay. What's your advice for those of us just starting? I think we covered this one, but we can go over it again. Deb, do you have advice for somebody who's starting?
Well, the first thing is not to tackle anything too big at first, because I think that would have burnt me out in the early process. The small stuff, like my sock drawer, was the first thing I did, because you don't really have, I mean, I don't have an emotional attachment to my socks. I think some people do because they like fancy socks and, the colorful stuff. But that was, when I got rid of like 30 some pairs of socks, I was so proud of myself. So then I was ready to move on to the underwear drawer, and then it got bigger and bigger. And just seeing now, it's just awesome. I open my drawers. I know where everything's at. I know what I have. There's nothing hidden in the back that I'm like, oh, I forgot I had that. I know what I have, and I wear it. And if I don't wear it, it's gone. I constantly get rid of stuff because I see that I'm not wearing it, or if it's uncomfortable, I'm getting rid of it. I always used to keep everything because my size used to fluctuate so much that I would have 5 different sizes of clothes, and I would keep them all. And the other day I told my husband I had to get some new jeans, and he goes, "You have like 5 pairs in there." I said, "None of them fit me." And I said, I'm getting rid of them and I'm buying a new pair. He goes, well, what if you lose weight? I said, well, then I'll have to go buy new jeans. I said, I might not want to wear those jeans again. When I lose weight, I might think, oh, those are old. I want new jeans. I lost weight. So, and that's how I've been with everything. Cause my closets were so jam packed and drawers of stuff that I hadn't worn in years just because of weight fluctuations. And,
Which
but
I think keeps you also in like a negative cycle that sparks more depression. When we're holding on to stuff that doesn't fit us and that's not right for us, it makes us feel bad, not good.
I had a pair of white jeans that I loved. And when I bought them, it was winter, so I didn't wear them. By the next spring, they didn't fit me. They still had the tags on them. I kept them for 17 years and got rid of them because I'm like, well, for one, I couldn't even get one leg in them. What do I do now? But, it's just, I just know how I feel when I lose weight. You want to treat yourself to something new, but you don't feel like you can do that when you have all these old clothes sitting there. And so I'm just not keeping it anymore.
Yep. No sense in punishing yourself over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so shameless plug for Clutter Boss Academy. Deb, if anybody is listening and they're on the fence about joining Clutter Boss Academy, what would you say to them?
Do it. But it's changed my life. When I first decided to do it, I thought about it and I thought, gosh, that's a lot of money. But then I think of the money I was spending on junk. You just don't buy that stuff and it's paid for. It's and I've never regretted it, not for 1 minute. It's changed my life. I think it's changed my husband's life because he looks at things a lot differently now too, because he doesn't keep all the junk, all the nails and the screws and a cup here and a cup there. He doesn't do that anymore. And so it's helped him too. It's invigorating. It's just the best thing I ever did.
Before I start crying.
Well, I feel like you're like my best friend, It's like, when I had a couple days to listen to a call, I get depressed.
I do. I feel like I feel like it's like family. Like I do, whether everybody is super connected to one another or just just listens, or it all just feels like a giant family to me. I can't imagine my life without Clutter Boss Academy now. And it's only been a year. Like I just can't imagine it.
Yeah. I just think that, what I did was I broke it down by month. And if I was paying a cleaning lady, which I was, it was less than what I was paying the cleaning lady. So I need to get rid of her and all will be good. But, I feel a close attachment to everyone in the academy. And it's like, I just want to meet everyone in person, and, you feel their pain and you feel like you really know them. I include them in my prayers at night, the stuff they got going on. And it's been a really good thing for me, especially since I don't go anywhere. And with COVID, I haven't really been anywhere because my husband's immune system is like kaput and I don't want to make him sick. So I've been staying home too. And I look forward to the calls and decluttering. I like it now. I know it's not like a chore. I like things to be neat and tidy and in their place. And I didn't really care before.
It does make you care a lot more about the stuff that you have. It makes you take pride in everything.
Exactly. There's more value in it. We bought our granddaughters each a car when they turned 16. Well, they just turned 16. And I thought, we shouldn't have done that because I don't think they're not going to get that. They're not going to understand the value of that because they didn't have to work for it. And my husband's like, well, you can't hardly take them away now, you know, but make them pay us for them, you know, because that was part of my problem. I didn't value the stuff I had, or I wouldn't have kept it in such a mess. You know, if I really truly cared about this stuff, I would have like worshiped it or something, you know, I'd taken better care of things. So that, I think
Well,
that's hard to let it go.
the more stuff we have, the less value each thing has, right? So this is like the more that you have, every single thing becomes less valuable and less meaningful and less important. When you have less, everything is worth more to you because you only have so much love that can go around for your stuff. So
Yeah.
just dividing it. So Deb, we're at an hour, and despite our technical glitches, I feel like this was such an incredible interview, and I'm so, so, so grateful and thankful that you took a chance on yourself and signed up for Clutter Boss Academy and then raised your hand for an interview and shared your story with everyone. It's so, I mean, you again, I'll just tell you so you can go back and read these comments. You obviously have touched people's thoughts and lives and souls with this interview. So thank you so much. You have become the inspiration now.
Well, you're welcome. And thank you. Thank you for all you do, because you're my hero.
Oh, thank you. This is why it's so worth it. It's awesome. So thank you to everybody who logged on. Deb, I'll tag you in the comments right after this. And
Okay.
I hope you guys all have an awesome rest of your day. Oh, Patty says, I calculated my average monthly spending before Clutter Boss Academy. And then I cut my annual spending back by nearly $1,500 and reduced my debt by nearly $6,000 last year.
Wow.
So it adds up. It adds up for sure. Yeah. All right. So much love to everybody in our community. Thank you again, Deb, and I will see you on the next call.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.